And here we go. Hello, everybody. This is B. Frank, and this is the premiere episode of Servitude Tales from the Weeds. My name is Brian. I have over 12 years experience in the food service industry, mostly as a bartender, sometimes as a busser. We have a lot of stories to share, and we hope to provide you with a sense of unity as you go into your adventures serving the hungry masses. And I have a great guest today. He's a former coworker of mine, a very, very funny fella. Just one of my favorite people, and we're going to bring him in here so that we can talk about all the ins and outs of our adventures in the food service industry. So please welcome to the stage my friend Matt Stevens. And good evening.
Good evening. I want to make an entrance.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. How you doing?
Thank you. You're one of my favorite people as well.
I didn't know if you could hear that or not. This is our
Absolutely.
First one, so.
Very, very kind words. Thank you.
How many total years of your life have you spent in the food service industry in one way or another?
Hang on, let me crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
Carry the one. Too many. 27.
That's a good number.
I started when I was 19, and I was
downhill.
I was going to Central Connecticut State University. I was a theater major.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I'll wait tables to pay the bills. I was a walking cliche for 28 years, and I still am. What?
Were you ever a busser, an expediter, a sous chef?
Actually, no. I started as a prep cook at TGI Fridays in West Hartford, Connecticut. Not even there anymore. It was bulldozed decades ago, but I started as a prep cook. And it made me really hate guacamole for a very long time. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But very quickly, I realized where the money, or as this girl I used to work with and I called it, the shmoney was at. Yes. And it was out front.
I started as a busser when I was in college, which makes you even lower than a server. I remember there was a hot chick hostess, as they tend to be. She used to just berate me about needing this table cleaned right now. I remember doing that right now. Like, I didn't think that you meant in a couple hours, honey. We know that when you want something done, you want it done quickly. So thanks for sharing that. I'm gonna pick a subject.
We could do an entire show on hosts.
Yep.
We could do an entire show on how I have never once worked with a host who understood rotation, literally fucking ever. I know it's possible because I remember distinctly one night I had covered hosting for a shift at Chili's, and everyone was like praising me on how great a job I did because I understood rotation.
Because you spread it out through the sections?
I mean, dude, hosts, man,
for the layperson,
like everyone else in the restaurant, at some point they're doing the best they can, but it's not that hard. All of us have been like, well, everyone else's section is sat, but mine, what? Oh, by the way, you're getting 4 tables and a party of 10. Like, couldn't we have spread this out? You know what the host always says? I'll help you. Oh, don't worry, I'll help you. Bullshit. Nowhere to be seen. You said you were going to help me. So anyway, yeah, we could do a whole show just on
hostesses. We can stay on hostesses for a minute here. For the food service misogynistic males, the hostesses have a tendency to be some sort of a fresh game kind of thing for the single guys who work there.
If you've ever seen the movie Waiting,
I was just gonna say that's right there in the movie Waiting.
That whole manager-host relationship where she's not even of age, and David Koechner, he's fantastic in everything I've literally ever seen him in. But as he nails it as that manager, he really does, because he's like, it's gross, really. It's really just
I
mean, we could do an entire thing on sexual harassment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, it's rampant.
We got a big sexual harassment story from our
rampant.
Place. Oh my God! But my other bartender, who was in his 40s at the time, and just really thought that he was still Mr. Man, was always going to go.
Which once you're in your 40s, come on.
I'm sorry, but yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm older. I'm in that space now. I know it. But he was always over at the host stand trying to push up on the new hostess. 19 years old, 20 years old, whatever.
Way too young for him.
No,
right?
It was gross. It was just absolutely.
It's gross. It's gross. I used to work with this manager. Like one day he was like, "Oh, I'm driving to work today," and I look over and there's one of the girls that we work with, a waitress, and she like had her shirt off in the car because she was changing to get to work. And of course, he just happened to be in the car right next to her, and of course had to tell everybody this story, and it was all ha ha ha. But I think maybe sexual harassment might be
not a good jump off.
A little much for our first one.
Yeah. So maybe
we should go something light like chicken fingers, you know.
Yeah, let's start with the obvious and start with your favorite Karen customer. And Karens can be guys too, by the way.
Listen, man, all joking aside, like this shit, it's PTSD. You know what I mean? It really is. So, all right, I'll tell you. And it was July 4th, 2018, July 4th, 2018. Red Robin in Manchester, Connecticut. And my coworker Anthony, my coworker Anthony, we called him Ant. He was flamboyantly gay. I love the guy. He was just funny as hell. He got this couple, and he got cut like that because we all know that July 4th is notoriously dead, right?
Right.
There was this couple that came in, and they'd obviously been at the beach. They were, older than me, like, late 40s, early 50s. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Red Robin offers free French fries to their customers.
Oh, you can walk in and not order anything and you get free French fries?
Well, I mean, it's one of those gray area things. You know what I mean? Where it's like
bottomless fries, but I thought you had to order it first.
Supposed to order something, but as a server, you just want them to eat something so that they're not hangry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, Ant took them. I never, greeted them. So he had already brought them fries, and he gets cut like that. And the guy he'd helped me out before, so I said, yeah, I'll take it, no problem. You can go. I get it. It's July 4th. You want to go be with your friends? I don't have any friends, so go ahead, buddy. It's fine. Seriously, that's got to be one of my biggest regrets was doing that because these people were the worst. I mean, the worst. They sat there for 2 hours eating free French fries and drinking water before they ever fucking decided to order.
Oh my God.
Okay? So they got sat at like 4. It's now 6 and they're finally ordering. Mm-hmm. There are very few times in my life where like I was close to murder. And this is definitely one of those times. This lady, well, I'd upgrade to the Black Angus patty if I didn't have to pay the $3.50. Well, you do, bitch, because that's how it works.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck you expect me to say.
Yeah.
And I want lettuce and cheese and this and that. And she's like, and I'm like furiously writing this shit, even though it's all on the menu. And I'm going, and I'm trying to get the order. And in the middle of this, she goes, "Are you having a bad day?" And I stop like, what? What are you talking about? I'm trying to write down your ridiculous order.
Right.
Well, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I really don't. I'm trying to take your order. You have this laundry list of ingredients you want on your burger. I can't write this fast. I don't know what the fuck you've been sitting here for 2 hours eating free French fries and drinking water. I'm trying to take your order and you're just being a bitch for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry if you didn't like my facial expression, but like, can we move on here? Burgers come out. Okay.
Got it.
And I check back 2 bites, 2 minutes. We all know this.
Right.
Well, he doesn't like his. It's not cooked right. Okay.
Details.
We'll remake it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and wait for another burger and eat mine. Make me a new one too. Okay. So as I'm taking her perfectly correct burger, dude, I swear to God, it was like, I don't have a prop.
We're going to get demonstrative now.
I pick the thing up, and she goes, wait.
Yeah.
And I was like, at that point, it had been so awful with this woman. And her husband, of course, was kind of like,
yeah, well,
pussy ass motherfucking piece of shit. Not going to say, hey, honey, you're being a cunt. Can you please stop?
Yeah.
No, he's just like, hey, I got to live with her,
You should see her at home, hey.
So, dude, I went to my boss, or my manager, Rosa. And I was like, Rosa, I can't. You can fucking fire me. I can't. I'm not putting myself through this. This is fucking ridiculous. It's a burger.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? They've been here for 3 hours.
They should be full of fries.
So Rosa took over, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I left just like a Brian, like epilogue to the story.
Yeah.
Turns out they stayed there until an hour after closing, which was at 11.
Oh my God.
So they were there from 4 to midnight.
Are they homeless?
8 hours. And they got Rosa to give them a free dessert because of what an asshole I was.
Oh my God.
Epilogue. They went to West Hartford Red Robin and did the exact same thing the following week to another poor server. And I hope that wherever they are right now, they're very unhappy. Because they're terrible people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, man, I get it. You go to a restaurant, you want to have fun, you want to have a good time, I want to provide these things for you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is behavior like it should be illegal.
Yeah.
It should be illegal. You should not be able to treat people this way. You were at a restaurant for 8 hours on a Wednesday night on July 4th? You pathetic human beings. See, this is what I'm saying. This isn't like a comedy story. I hate that bitch to this day. And you know what, B? Every July 4th, I think of that fucking awful woman. I do.
Flashbacks.
I do. With her, I would get the Black Angus patty if I didn't have to pay for it. Do you do that? When you go to a McDonald's, do you go, well, I'd get a Big Mac if I didn't have to pay for the fries?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
No,
I get everything if I didn't have to pay for it. Let's be real.
Right? And they're just like children. The great negotiators. That's how people are. They're the exact same way. If there's anything that I learned waiting tables, it's that adults are just grown-up children.
Mm-hmm.
They're worse because they think paying money justifies their behavior. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah.
Whoever said the customer is always right, I guarantee you was a customer.
Right, exactly.
So then you got a guy like Scott Seiss who comes along and you're like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gets it. And then, lockdown comes and they're like, oh, nobody wants to work anymore. No, nobody wants to be treated like a piece of shit anymore over a fucking burger.
Yeah.
It's not about work, MAGA fuckers. It's about, I don't want to be treated like this.
Yeah.
So anyway, why don't you tell me your favorite Karen story?
My favorite Karen story, I worked at a high
Or one of.
What's that?
Or one of. It doesn't have to be. I mean, there's so many to choose from after so long of waiting tables.
Yeah. I'll start telling you one story and it'll make me think of 3 others. And we could go just ad nauseum, for the rest of the evening. But
I don't understand the appeal of podcasts or why anyone would want to listen to this. But if you're listening,
thank you.
I love
it. and hopefully the listener does not work in the food service industry so that they can learn how to gain some empathy towards folks. Like
okay, can I just say this now that you brought it up, and I don't mean to stop your story, but that whole, I think people should have to wait tables for a year, no, that's wrong. You know why? Because you would think that people would be like, oh, gee, I've been through this. I understand. I'm not going to treat other people like that. But they won't be like that. Most people's attitude will be, well, I had to put up with it.
Oh, right.
It would be worse than things are now. So I wish people would stop saying that.
Right. Well, this was a fairly slow day. I can't remember what was going on. I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday, but this family of 4, and they come in with grandma, and, she's got her red suit on, and she's just marveling at the design of this place. Oh my gosh, I've lived here for 20 years and I've never seen this place before. It's so beautiful. How long is this? So I give her a rundown of the history of the place. I'm bartending, and I give her a rundown of the history of the place. The 2 boys, the 2 sons are of drinking age. I had to card them, but they're old enough. So they order drinks all around. I handle grandma first. She orders a Cosmopolitan. Make her Cosmopolitan. Put it down there. Start getting these boys their scotch and sodas or whatever. And, literally minutes go by. 2 minutes. And I turn and look at the woman. She's got her elbow on the counter looking at me like this. Excuse me, what is this? Cosmopolitan. Well, I don't know what kind of a cosmopolitan you're used to making, but this is not a cosmopolitan. Oh.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to approach the situation like this. You could just ask nicely.
Tell me what you want. You say, excuse me.
But I mean, it's like condescending attitude.
Yeah. But we were having a good time. And the page flipped, and now she's looking up her eyebrow. She's giving me the BR thing, and she says, I don't know what this is, but this is not okay, well, how do you like it? Better. Okay, well, that doesn't narrow it down for me. And how much alcohol? She says, how much alcohol did you put in this? And I go,
how much alcohol did you put in this?
Because I said, well, it's a 3-shot martini. And she goes, be honest. And I look at the dad, and everybody, all 4 of them are just like not saying shit. It's like suddenly they're admiring the wallpaper or something.
Yeah,
and
pussies.
Goes, be honest. I said, okay, well, it's a shot and a half of liquor. So what is that? 1 3/4 plus 3/4. So it's about 2.5.
Hang on, let me crunch the numbers.
Ounces, Well, I can't even taste the alcohol in this. Okay,
then
so
just
are you
say
telling me that you'd like a stronger drink? And
I mean,
she
seriously,
says,
why do we have to do all this?
It's like, riding the condescension train in here is no way to get
seriously. It's not making me want to help you.
To have a good time. I'm not, I'm making the drink as I learned from the recipe and as is the policies of the restaurant. But if this isn't. Additionally, this is not a chain. This is a privately owned restaurant, so you can do that kind of stuff. You can hook it up.
We could do an entire show on the difference between corporate and non-corporate.
Yes, and we will. But she says we only drink the top shelf vodka. And finally, Eileen, I go, you didn't say the top shelf vodka, so you got the well. That's why it's called a call liquor, because you have to call it out. Top shelf.
I failed mind reading in high school.
Yeah, and the one of the boys trying to placate, God bless him. He goes, yeah, we like our drinks strong. We're a bunch of drunks in this family. And I went, I guess, well, that didn't go over well at all. I was just being playful with him, but now I'm calling them alcoholics. I made
call spade a spade
that just had a tinge of red in it. Okay, handed that to them, gave them their drinks, told the dad, I'll transfer your tab to your dining.
Goodbye.
Go back behind the curtain, Well, she goes to her dinner on the other half of the restaurant. So, and finally, one of my servers comes over like about an hour later and going, man, I've got this crazy bitch at the table. I said, what are you talking about?
Tell me about it.
Did you have some old lady who you insulted? I go, do you know me? I just said, no, I know you didn't insult her, but she took it as an insult. I said, grandma came off her meds right in the middle of a Cosmopolitan over here. I don't know what her issue is, but all the family was rolling their eyes and not saying jack shit. Maybe grandma don't get out of the senior home very easily or whatever, but he goes, she was just complaining about that jerk bartender.
Unbelievable.
And she just had a wedge in her crack like the entire time. Not only that, but I only worked weekends. I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this was a Sunday. I come back on Friday. My manager comes over and goes, did you serve some old lady back last Sunday who had a problem with your drink? I said, yeah. By then I'd forgotten about it. He goes, she's been calling here every day demanding that you get fired. I go, for what? For what?
Wow.
Because she didn't care for the Cosmopolitan be made according to the general, widely accepted recipe ever since Elizabeth Taylor, and then he was rude and he called us alcoholics and he made fun of my grandson. And there's no moral to the story or anything, but that's a rare occasion with bartending. Usually people are cool with bartenders because they want better drinks. That happens to servers almost every shift.
All the time.
It's like, come and take your day out with the server, because I'll serve somebody at the bar while they're waiting for their table, and then I have someone coming up saying, this couple's just a bunch of jackasses, and I said, who? Yeah. And I look over there and I go, oh, they were cool with me. They had
well, it's kind of along the same. Yeah. It's the same thing when, you tell a customer something and they're just an asshole to you, and then the manager comes out and tells them the same thing, and now they understand. Like, dude, what the fuck? I said the same exact thing. But that lady, the Cosmo lady, terrible superhero, by the way. Yeah, could you imagine being so small and petty that you are calling for the termination of somebody that you had one interaction with for 5 this for straight. 5 days straight. Can you imagine being that kind of any grand design would ever create such a species that's so horrible to each other? I really do. It's like it's a cosmopolitan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's a cosmopolitan. Like, you want me fired over that? Your grandson is the one who said you're alcoholics. I just agreed.
Yeah. You had one taste of your Cosmopolitan and you got a little too much cranberry in it, I guess. So now it's a 5-day ordeal and you want someone to lose their job over it. Yeah.
And I actually, if there are any servers out there who are watching this, I would encourage you to come forward with your stories about these people, because they need to be put on blast. There's just even the small encounters, like Red Robin again. One night I went up to a table that I was greeting. I said, hi, how you guys doing tonight? We had to wait 45 minutes. To which I wanted to say, no, you didn't. There's plenty of restaurants around here. You could have gone to one of those. You chose to wait 45 minutes, and now you're yelling at me. Yeah. The guy who you've been waiting for your food, the guy who's going to bring it to you, and your first reaction is to yell at me about how long you had to wait?
Right.
And I would just want to turn to his wife and be like, this is what you're attracted to? This bitch? Dude, part of being an adult is having patience.
Yeah.
You cannot walk into a restaurant at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night and be angry that you had to fucking wait, man. It's not how any of this works.
No, none of it.
You chose to come here. They told you the wait was at least half an hour, and you said, yeah, that's cool. And then what? You thought you'd just yell at me when I came to the table? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, man. It really doesn't. Dude, look, I've been there, okay? I've been in a restaurant where I got shitty service and they didn't give a fuck. But I'll tell you one thing I didn't do was leave a gutless note. We could do an entire podcast on gutless note leavers.
Yep.
I hate them. They're pussies.
Yeah.
Say it to my face, motherfucker. Seriously.
Yeah, get the
you ever get complained about by someone that you never even had an encounter with?
Yeah.
That guy over there says you picked your nose when you came out of the bathroom and then touched silverware. Bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about or he's talking about. This is bullshit. I have things to do. Why are you bothering me with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I did have somebody say that. He saw you come out of the bathroom and pick your nose and then touch the fucking silverware. And I'm like, dude, why are you bothering me with this right now?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm not even going to defend myself because I shouldn't have anything to defend from.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why do restaurant managers, especially, we could do an entire thing on restaurant managers.
Yes, and we will.
Why are they such? I searched many, many years to find the right word for literally every restaurant manager I ever worked for, and I finally found it. It's twerp. They're twerps. They're twerps. Spineless. Every restaurant manager to a T that I ever worked for was a spineless twerp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the one that we worked for, he'd have us for the drinks. He'd have his policies: do not overpour. We had our liquor in the Coca-Cola gun, pumped into the Coca-Cola gun, and I knew that thing did not measure it out. So if you push the vodka button, gin, you know, but I know that that's not pouring out a full jigger, 1 3/4 ounces. That's a jigger, and it is not pouring a jigger. It's pouring maybe a half ounce, you know. And no, you have to pour it according to this. You know, this is where the chain restaurant stuff comes in, because they would measure their alcohol levels on the half bottles with like one of those neutron scales or something that would get it down to the fraction of an ounce. So if you're over pouring, then all the bartenders get into trouble because we're giving out free drinks and you get written up. You know, oh my God, the write up. You know,
that is the price of doing business.
Yeah, yeah. But the chains
I know, right?
But our manager that we had, he'd tell us to do it that way, wouldn't let us budge and be cool bartenders. You know, when some no account 40-year-old man comes up and says there's not enough alcohol in his Long Island iced tea, and I'm like, why are you still drinking Long Island iced teas? But I can't do anything about it. He calls the manager. Manager comes in, listens to me, goes, put some more alcohol in that. I go, you told me not to. Put some more alcohol in there.
Yeah, it's only because you're being confronted by a customer about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the most jellyfish stuff. I mean, they will hang you out to dry, throw you in the street and let a bus run over you, you know. And then, you know, you can forget about it.
They'll throw you under the bus when they don't even have to.
Yeah,
they'll throw you under the bus when there's not even a bus coming, just because they can't.
Tips, you know, you can forget about getting tipped on that, you know, and then this guy gets to give you some smug grin while you're putting more liquor that I would have done anyway. I would have done that anyway, you know, but my managers were, and the GM, the district manager, were adamant about this liquor cost thing. And then, yeah, give them some more. Why do you do that?
It's the price of doing business. It's like you told me about how you worked at a place where the guy was like counting every little chip in the plates. And saying it was coming out of the server's paycheck. Like, dude, this is business. This is how it works. Like, you know, I mean, I worked for a place, and we could do an entire show on this place, but where the guy that I worked for, if you did anything that he didn't like, you were taking money out of his pocket. That's what it was. Every little thing you did that he didn't like, you were taking money out of his pocket. Never mind the fact that you're slaving away 10 straight hours a fucking day waiting tables, which is like 15 in a cubicle, by the way.
Right.
And just busting your ass, and then, you know, you go like this with the alcohol. Go, oh, you're stealing from me. Like it's enough to make one sick. It's enough to make one say, you know what, dude, I'm not going to work for you. I'm not going to put myself through this. This is ridiculous.
Right. Right.
You should be thanking me for showing up and putting myself through this grueling ass shit. But instead, you know, I hate to read comments on social media about waiting tables and about tipping, because there's just so many fucking assholes out there that are like, well, how I don't have to pay their salary. Motherfucker, drop a couple bucks. What is your problem? What is your problem, dude?
Right.
And you know what it is? And we could do a whole series on that. People, and I've always said this, people are happy to pay for their food because they have to, but they don't want to pay for their service because they don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think they should install some sort of whatever, $15. Oh, and then that's a problem too, because it's how dare a server make as much as a lawyer? Like, wow, it's enough to make. Oh, but nobody wants to work. Like,
right.
Yeah. It's you guys want us to do this for free. You want us to put ourselves through this and not pay us anything. That's what you want. You want us to be slaves.
And still be cordial.
That's what you want.
Be the rock star server.
Yeah, and smile and thank you for the privilege.
And then take a bus home.
I've always said waiting tables is $5.69 an hour and all the pride you could swallow.
Yeah, that's right. I worked in restaurants where they have an employee chicken or something because you can't like order the regular food or something. But I'm with you. So I'm always busy when the kitchen's closing. So when I finally get a second to go and order the employee chicken, kitchen's already closed and they won't make me anything. I mean,
but you can't eat during your shift. Buddy,
yeah.
I'm a human being. I've been on for 9 straight hours. I need to eat something.
Yeah, and
I don't care.
Those are like when they get on you for leaning against the bar. It's like, I've been on my feet for 8 hours straight. I need to lean on something.
I mean, seriously, whoever came up with that saying, you got time to lean, you got time to clean, should be drug out into the street and shot like a dog.
Yeah. It's like, it's either that or I sit on this rubber mat because, I mean, I remember waking up in the morning achy from my knees down. After a good night's sleep. My legs are still aching. And that was when I was like in my 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, I currently work at a car wash. The worst day at the car wash is still better than the best day at a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
Because unlike a restaurant,
you can just shovel them through.
These customer interactions, they're quick.
Yeah.
A couple minutes,
seconds,
no matter how angry they are, they're going to be on their way. Whereas at a restaurant, the guy is still sitting there pissed off because you ran out of mozzarella sticks hours ago, before he set foot in. And of course, he had it in his mind that he was going to get some mozzarella sticks. Well, we ran out. And then you're bringing him the check asking if you can get anything else. Those mozzarella sticks. Let it go, bro.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. Expectations.
It's just
what do you
fried
want
cheese, you fat fuck.
I know.
When I worked at Chili's, every Sunday night, without fail, we ran out of the chocolate molten cake. Every Sunday night. And we got the truck on Monday. And every Sunday night, without fail, you have never heard so many adults whine. But that's what we came here for. Well, bitch, what the fuck do you want me to do? We don't have it. We have a Blondie. It's not the same. You are an adult.
Oh, man, you just ruined their life,
You did. You personally did. You got up that morning. You said, oh, buddy, I can't wait to tell that fucking bitch at table 32 that we ain't got her chocolate fucking molten cake.
Yeah. Or on a Monday holiday, Labor Day or whatever. Oh, how's your sushi? Been sitting there since Saturday.
We could do an entire thing on holidays because here's the thing about
holidays.
Sunday is the day that people who don't go out during the week come out.
Yes.
Holidays are the day that the people that don't go out on the Sundays come out. And they make the Sunday people look sane.
That's Bush League.
Jeez, why are you guys so busy today? It's Mother's Day.
Because it's Mother's Day. And it's 5 o'clock. Or for brunch, it's 11 o'clock. Yeah.
And you didn't think we'd be busy. You didn't think that Olive Garden would be busy at 5 o'clock on Mother's Day. Today's my mother's special day. You better not fuck it up. How about you cook her fucking dinner at home, you piece of shit?
And you brought her here?
You brought her to Olive
Mother's
Garden to
Day,
show her how much you love her.
Olive Garden for some bread.
We could do a whole thing on so many things, B. We really could.
Here's the illegal shit on Mother's Day. Our place was only open for dinner, except for Mother's Day and Easter. And this guy decides that we're going to have brunch on Mother's Day. Oh, and by the way, you still got to work your regular shift. So everybody's there for literally 15 hours. Because you got to go there and go to the meeting, and this masturbatory GM has to have a 3-hour meeting so that he can talk about what he had a dream about last week.
Oh, yeah.
Very inspiring that he wrote down on a sheet of paper so he could recite it to him. I was like, why don't you just whip it out and start jerking off? Because that's all that you're doing right now.
The worst.
I could have gotten 2 more hours of sleep. But no.
A twerp.
And then they've got this Mother's Day buffet that is horrible, and it didn't come with a beverage. So everybody wants a mimosa, or at least some juice, and then that gets tacked on.
Or Bloody Mary.
Inclusive. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a cocktail at least, but yeah. Then they got to complain about it, and they take it off anyway because people are going to complain about it. So what was the point of you even having that in at all? Then finish, clean up, start up for dinner, work the dinner shift, get off work at 2 in the morning, try and drive home.
Dude, I'm going to have fucking nightmares tonight because of this goddamn thing. I guarantee you. I'm going to have server dreams. When Olive Garden decided to implement the Ziosks, those little computers, those little black computers
in your hand.
that sit at the table.
Yeah.
Those, they're called Ziosks.
Okay.
When Olive Garden decided to implement those, they decided in their infinite wisdom that they were going to have a mandatory meeting for all of the servers. And it just happened to fall on the night we changed the clocks and all lost an hour's worth of sleep.
Oh, yeah, those days.
So we all closed. We all lost an hour of sleep. And then every single server had to be there at 8 a.m., which to our bodies was 7 a.m., so that we could learn the Ziosk, which every customer hated.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this to us?
Your employee base actually made it on time.
One kid didn't get in, and they locked him out. And that kid's name was Anthony. That kid's name was Anthony, and he was a piece of shit. But that's not the point. Just straight out tell us you don't give a shit about us.
Right.
This is ridiculous. You're making us all go in the night. We all lose an hour of sleep to do this. I mean, and dude, this thing was like a big deal. It was like the Stations of the Cross. You had to go to each different table, and this is the table where they explain how to do the credit card. And this is the table where they explain how to do the games. And this is the table where they explain how to order through the Ziosk. And you had to pass each test. I mean, this wasn't like, and full uniform, by the way, aprons and everything. Not like we were there hanging out in our pajamas, dude.
Right.
Full uniform.
Yeah.
When I think of how desperate I was for a job to put myself through that, it makes me sick. It makes me sick that I ever let anyone treat me like that. I'm serious. And you know what? To this day, it's still going on. I would love to hear some other people's stories like this, because right now there's a company out there that is putting their servers through this kind of shit for abso-fucking-lutely no reason.
Yeah.
Corporate greed.
And then they got to work their shift, and they can't think straight. Mandatory meeting.
There's that.
That could have gotten covered. Everything that you need to know could have gotten covered in 20 minutes. But no,
in a pre-meal. It could have been covered in a 5-minute pre-meal. But you're right. There's this masturbatory thing with these guys where they love to just go on and on about shit that does not fucking matter. When the rubber meets the road, it doesn't matter.
The guy who's higher than the GM, he came in once and literally gave the speech from Wall Street.
What a jerk.
Hollywood, man. People know that shit. Like,
what a jerk.
Why are you giving me the greed is good?
This is a restaurant, dude.
I'm not in the stock market, you ass. I'm in food service.
At least he didn't give the Alec Baldwin speech from Glenn Ross.
He also included that there should never be an empty seat in this place on any given night. It is your responsibility to put butts in these seats. I'm like, I'm not in marketing.
What do you want you to do? Run out front when you had a minute? Restaurant managers are some of the most just ignorant people I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
My entire life. They're horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 2 good managers in 27 years.
You get the guy who's either there to get laid, and then there's the one who, like, I don't know if he studied marketing or hospitality or whatever, and now he knows everything about the ins and outs of every restaurant that ever exists.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's always the one going through a bad divorce, and he's sad about his life.
Then there's the one who wants to bring his friends in and his family in and impress the hell out of him by basically treating you like a turd.
I don't know how much non-corporate you've worked. I've worked both. A lot of corporate and a lot of non-corporate. And I am here to tell you, every single non-corporate restaurant I ever worked for, the only motivation of the people who owned it and ran it was to bring their friends and family in and go, wow, hey, wow, look at this. Hey, wow. Well, you hit the big time. That's all they gave a shit about. They didn't care about customer service. They didn't give a shit about the server or anything. All they cared about was impressing their friends and family with a restaurant.
I don't know where this freezes up.
What a thing to hang your hat on, huh? I've opened, let me think. 1, 2. I've opened 3 non-corporates and a corporate. And they were all shit shows in their own way. But all 3 non-corporates, it was a nightmare, dude. I was like, why did I do this to myself? And it was all about, hey, wow, oh, these glasses are so cool. Look at this. Look at the furniture. Like, but then when we got busy, no one knew what the fuck they were doing. I literally had a guy. He's a famous guy here in Manchester. We used to make fun of him all the time. He literally said to us one time, if you want no tomatoes, you have to press no tomatoes. And we're like, dude, this is a joke, right? Come on. I mean, we used to say that all the time. Yeah, you press no tomatoes. My God, bro, this is not the problem. The problem is you don't have any flat surfaces here for me to put anything down on. Oh, you thought of everything, but where do I put my tray? Where do I set my tray down? Oh, you see this perfect spot to set your tray down? Don't put anything over there. Restaurants are really good at that, too.
Yeah. It's too close to the
Restaurants are really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Here's the perfect thing to do the thing you need to do. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it there. No.
Because reasons.
Because
reasons.
The best thing is because it's policy. Like, okay,
yeah,
I
love that one.
I don't see the policy anywhere. Can you show it to me?
Dude, I need a place to put the tray down while I fucking ring the shit in. Is this hard?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you want to know what's taking me so long. Well, what's taking me so long is I have to walk all the way to the back to put the fucking tray down and then come all the way to the back. You know what I mean?
Right.
To put the glasses away, which I could have skipped. I could have already had their order in.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm forced to go and take this tray of dirty glasses first. And then walk all the way back because for some reason you guys thought it would be good to have 2 computers in a fucking 100-table restaurant.
Right. And you got to wait for the other people to get the hell off it.
There's a line of servers. So, no, I haven't put in your food yet.
I swear to God that as soon as you step off the floor for 1 second, suddenly everybody needs something. I don't know what kind of a Murphy's Law that is, but I go into the back just to get a bite of a protein bar, for God's sake. Come out, swallow it, come out. Where have you been? These people want to.
Your table needs a fork. Well, did you grab it for them?
Jesus Christ!
Are you busy?
It's like the 4th seal had been open in Revelation, just in the time I went to get a bite of a fucking protein bar.
You wasted 5 minutes looking for me to tell me that my table needed a fork. I mean, let's face it. Most of the people that I worked with that weren't managers were not the swiftest people.
Yeah.
Well, when I worked at Chili's, there was this new kid. All I remember is he had never waited tables before. And as he's bringing some food, he had busted a table. He goes, "Can you believe they didn't finish this?" And grabs a half-eaten chicken sandwich and goes to eat it. And we're all like, "No!
Slap!
What are you doing?" You don't know where the guy or woman who ate that. What the fuck are you? I mean, not too bright, bro. Not too bright.
No.
And and you went through an interview process, and the manager said, "Yeah, this is we'll hire him."
This is the best one for the one position we have.
Seriously, I mean, some of them are. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Some of the coolest people I met. Well, not coolest, but they were coolish. I'm still friends with some people I met waiting tables. You're a great example. You know, I'm still friends with people that I met serving because they were cool people. Mm-hmm. But I mean, most of them are just duds, humdingers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. God only knows where they are now. You've got idiots going and being waited on by idiots, and then the whole thing's being run by idiots. It's like
it's just a circus.
And just the whole concept that you can walk into a building and have somebody else make food for you is, if you're going out to eat, there's a certain, let's call it suspension of disbelief that you have to accept. Okay?
Yeah.
Your salmon, is it farmed or is it fresh? Bro, you're at a Chili's. It was farmed.
Yeah.
It's you're at a Chili's. Okay? We're not catching it out of the Farmington River. Like, what are you even talking about? You shouldn't be ordering salmon at Chili's anyway.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You get what you fucking deserve. Remember when I was a kid, one night, my parents had gone out to eat, and they had gone to a steakhouse, and my dad had ordered the fish.
Yeah.
And I woke up to him throwing up, like, profusely. And we learned then, you get the house special. You don't go to a steakhouse and order fish unless you want to throw up. Like, you know what I mean?
Probably a Sunday too.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground in an hour, huh?
Yeah, man, this was great. I mean, we're kind of all over the place,
great.
But if I have a good time, then hopefully whoever's watching has a good time. I knew that this was going to be entertaining and very animated, and I was right.
Yeah, and also, you know, painful. I'm sorry, but any server out there who's worth their weight in salt understands that this can be really hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, how many servers do you know that like went and fucking cried in the walk-in? You know?
Oh yes.
We're serving food.
We always have our criers. We have
it's ridiculous.
Our drinkers. We have our
Dude, I have sobbed so many tears over this stupid fucking industry that I hope never to have any part of.
Punching the walk-in door. Punching the swinging doors.
I mean, I'll tell you what; those the soda syrup boxes, those are godsends.
Oh yeah. Those
when you have to change the soda, and you just
yeah.
Because really, I want to do that to the guy out at my table.
Absolutely. Well, I hope this has been educational for everybody, and hope it was been entertaining and plant some seeds of empathy and. Hopefully,
I'm so grateful and thankful to have been asked to do this.
Oh yeah.
So I bid you.
You're gonna come back. We'll try and be a little bit more focused on our subjects.
I bid you a good evening.
Okay, sounds good. Take care. All right. Well, that was old Matt Stevens, my pal who. I always call Chandler Bing times 10. So he's a good fella, has a lot of experience in this industry, and hopefully it was, like I say, an educational thing for everybody. But this is B. Frank, and this is Servitude, Tales from the Weeds, and hope to catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be well, and tip 18% at least.